Okay, in this video series, I'm going to show you step by step how to create citations according to the APA Formatting and Style Guide 7th edition. Now, there are a lot of tools and resources available to you out there, not only showing you how to create APA citations, but actually auto-generating them for you. And these are amazing supports to help you do your work a little faster. But the thing about auto-generated citations is that they are created by a computer program, which doesn't have the ability to think critically. So sometimes there are mistakes in those citations. So even if you use these tools, and you absolutely should, you will still need to edit those citations to fix the mistakes, which means you do need to know the rules of APA. So the major tool I'm going to be referencing in this series is the OWL Purdue website. It's a lifesaver. It can be found at owl.purdue.edu, so owl as in the bird, p.purdue.edu. I've written a lot of citations in my life, so I know a lot of APA formatting standards by heart at this point, and so can you. But when I can't remember exactly how to format something, which happens a lot, the OWL Purdue website is what I always use to help me out. So I hope these videos are helpful, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so let's talk about citing periodicals. I would say that periodicals tend to be what students find to be the most confusing thing, because often these kinds of publications are not things that everyday people encounter in their lives, right? Many of us read books, we read online articles, we watch videos, but not everybody is like going to an academic journal database and finding academic journal publications. So let's just take a moment and clarify, like, what is a periodical in the first place? Basically, a periodical is a certain kind of publication where new issues of the publication come out on a regular schedule. So imagine like your favorite magazine that has a new issue once a month, or many academic journals will publish 4 times a year or twice a year. And you'll get you can subscribe often to these periodicals and just get new issues with new different kinds of content sent to you either physically or electronically. A lot of periodicals are electronic these days. And citing periodicals works a little bit different than citing something like a book, because there are often many issues of this particular periodical. And so you want to make sure that the person who's reading your citation knows where exactly to find. Some periodicals have been publishing for decades, right? So how do we make sure that we can point somebody to the exact issue that you found this useful information within? So one form of periodical is an academic journal. And so often what we'll be citing is a specific article that we've found in an academic journal. This just happens to be the one academic journal that I subscribe to in a physical sense. It's called Upping the Ante. Upping the Ante has been around for many years, and it's currently on its 21st issue. And so if I wanted to cite an article in the Upping the Ante journal, I want to follow this formatting standards for periodical, for academic journal periodicals. So let's find that on the OWL Purdue website. We got ourselves here, owl.purdue.edu. We're going to scroll down and find the APA Formatting and Style Guide. And we're going to open this part of the menu that gives us this information. So see here, there's a section that says Articles in Periodicals. And this is where I'm going to find my basic form. So I'm just going to copy that straight into my document over here so that I can use it as a reference point. Just remembering that it should have a hanging indent instead. So let's find the article that we want to cite here. So let's say we have this piece written by, no, we don't want that because we want an actual author. Okay, I'm going to go to this article here. It's written by somebody named Merle Davis Matthews, and it's called Mining Makes This World Possible. So we're going to start by citing this author's name. So just like with books, we're going to write last name first, and then the person's first name is Merle Davis, so that's M.D. course, if this was something that was written by multiple people, we would have another person added there with an ampersand in the middle. But this one was written just by one person. Let's see when this was published. This issue was published in 2009. So we're going to write the name in brackets with a period afterwards. And then this is where it works a little bit differently than a book. So in this format for academic journals, the name of the article is not italicized. The name of the periodical is. So if we remember, the name of the article was Mining Makes This World Possible. First word capitalized, the rest not in italics. And then the title of the periodical, we're going to put in italics, and it's Upping the Ante, Journal of Theory and Action. And you'll notice that I have capitalized every letter in this phrase, and that's the format for APA journals. So the title of the article, only the first letter is capitalized. The title of the journal, every first letter is capitalized. So we've done that. So we write the journal name, and then we put a comma. And then what we have next is the volume number and the issue number. Some academic journals have volumes and issues. This one only has a volume number, so we're going to just include that. And I can see right on the front here, it says number 21. So I'm going to continue to italicize this and just write 21, comma. And then I unitalicize, and I'm going to write the page range of the article that I am citing. So this article, I can see here, starts on page 101 and goes until page 116. And just like the books, I don't have the DOI here, but if you have the DOI, you would put that as a link right here, just like here. And this is already formatted as a hanging indent, which you do by clicking here, special indent, go to hanging, but it's done already. So that's an academic journal article. There are other ways of finding academic journals. For example, maybe you're going to find your academic journal articles by doing a search in the George Brown Library database, in which case it's the exact same process, the exact same format, just you're just finding it in a different kind of way. So let's say I'm working on a project about how Montessori schools relate to disability, and this seems like a pretty interesting article, so I'm going to click there. Yeah, system problem. I might need to log in again. Okay, I'm back, properly logged in. So let's look at this article and see where we can find this information. So basically all the information that you need in order to cite this article is right here. So you have the names, the authors, you have the year of publication, which is just 2015. You have the title of the article right here. You have the name of the journal right here, the volume number, the issue number, and the page range. So I'm just going to copy all of that into my, so I just don't have to keep clicking back and forth between the tabs and write this out here. So we know, based on the information we have here, that this article is written by Natalie Danner and Susan A. Fowler. We know that it is written in 2015. We know that it is called Montessori and non. This is a moment where I'm not actually sure whether I should capitalize Montessori because it might be a person's name. So I'm just going to err on the side of capitalizing it and go Google that later. Montessori and non-Montessori early childhood teachers' attitudes toward inclusion and access, not italicized. And then I'm going to write the journal name, italicized and capitalized, Journal of Montessori Research, Volume 1. Stop italicizing. Number 1, 28 to 41. Now this is smooth as butter because I've cited a million journals in my day, but it'll go slower for you, and that's okay, right? This, every single time you do it, you learn, you get better, you get more practice, just like learning a language. Citation is really like a language. You learn the grammar, you learn the spelling, you learn how it's structured, and the more you practice, the more you know how to speak it, or write it in this case. And there you go, I have another journal cited. So sometimes we find journal articles through academic journal databases. Sometimes we just stumble across them in Google searches, right? So say you found this particular article and you just found it on Google. Even though you found it online and you have it here as an online web page, you still need to cite it as a journal. And you can tell that it's a journal because it has this kind of journal-y information here at the top. So I'm going to cite it just like that. I wonder if it'll let me. No, it won't. Okay, I'll do it piece by piece. Copy and paste. Oh no, that's so much. Never mind. Go back. Okay, it's not going to make it easy for me. We have 3 authors here. Sean Ferns. Another author is Robert Hickey. And Helen Williams. It was published in, you can see here, 2021, so a very recent article. The name of the article is Ungrading, Supporting Our Students Through a Pedagogy of Care. And the title of the journal is International Journal for Cross-Disciplinary Studies. And it's really making it hard for me to keep this in my working memory. International Journal for Cross-Disciplinary Subjects in Education. International Journal for Cross-Disciplinary Subjects in Education. That was a real test of my memory. The volume number is 12 and the issue number is 2. So we go stop italicizing 2. And the page range is it going to give me a page number? Oh, it is 4,500. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom to 4,504. 4,500 to 4,504. And that's that. So we now have 3 journal articles all cited properly here using this basic template that I've gotten from the OWL Purdue website. So another kind of periodical is a newspaper or a magazine. You can use the OWL Purdue website for that as well. I think it'll give me a newspaper citation format here. This is actually a citation format for a physical newspaper, which might be relevant to you. But I think most of the time when we're citing newspaper articles these days, it's an electronic from the newspaper's website, and there's a different kind of format for that. And you can find that in, I think, electronic sources. I'll quickly just Control F, newspaper. I found it. So I'm just going to copy that straight into my thingy, my document. And so I'm going to be writing my newspaper article. Let's just go to the Toronto Star website and see if we can find an article here. I don't want to think about COVID right now. Let's see. Okay, so we have this article here. I'm just going to copy and paste that all over here. So the person who wrote this is named Mariska Fernandez. Fernandez M. Period. And this is a little bit different than an academic journal because it's published on a specific day. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 2021, December 17th, just like that, written the month full out and then the number of the day, and bracket period. The title of the article, I'm just going to start here so we're not boring you. And you write the whole thing. The title of the publication is Toronto Star. I'm just going to delete that because I don't need it anymore. And then the very last thing to include is the URL of the publication. That doesn't need to be italicized. In the 7th edition of APA, you no longer have to write retrieved by, just plunk that URL right in there and you have a good citation. And as always, I'm going to make that hanging. So that is how to cite things in periodicals, whether it's an academic journal article, a newspaper article, or a magazine article. A little bit different than other kinds of citations, but really important to practice doing. Good luck!